Hey everyone, this is a trader investor. In this video, I'm going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum in light of Wyckoff logic. I think it's important that we understand the Wyckoff logic and where we are with both Bitcoin and Ethereum, because we're starting to see some weakness. Price have really significantly dropped down, and what is driving that weakness? Different news. Doesn't matter whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's China, whether it's other gurus. That really doesn't matter to us as traders or as investors. What we want to know is it time to accumulate or is it time to distribute, meaning get rid of our positions to come back and buy lower? Those are just some of the things that we need to consider. Again, when we look at accumulation and distribution, you can look at it at different time frames, but it's important to know excuse me, your why. Are you in it as an investor for long term, or are you in it to capture movements within days or weeks, quick in and out? So once you understand your why, you would look at the Wyckoff logic in terms of your time frame, in terms of your horizon. That's important. So for me, Bitcoin and Ethereum are long-term holds. I want to see where I will add to my position, and to understand that, I want to understand where am I in the cycle of the markets. Markets they accumulate, they have a mark up, they distribute, they have a mark down, accumulate, mark up. They move in this cycle. But in addition to that, another thing to also look at is accumulate, mark up, reaccumulate, mark up some more. That's a possibility. Distribute, mark down, redistribute, mark down again before we go into an accumulation. So very, very critical that you understand this when you're placing your positions, whether you want to get in or out. Right? You don't want to get out when we're in a reaccumulation phase and miss the next move up. You don't want to get in where we're in a redistribution phase and there's still room to the downside. So if this area here is it an accumulation because we've had a move down, and is this an accumulation to add to positions to go up, or is this a redistribution because the distribution from here, is this a redistribution, and are we going to get more buying opportunities below 30k, below 20k, below 10k? Are we gonna get those opportunities? Very important to take a look at that. And so in any market, this analysis works the same way, and Ethereum and Bitcoin, that's what we're seeing. Distribution, and we have an area here. Is this area accumulation or is it a redistribution? Yet to be seen, but I will go into those details on how we can identify them and how we can take an opportunity to enter our position. That's how I want to take a look at it. So I have here an 8-hour chart, just to make it easier for us to see where things are. I think it's easier to see it on an 8-hour chart. So in Bitcoin, we had a very sharp sell-off. So we have a selling climax here. We have an automatic rally, but then now price is testing those low points, those supports, testing them a few times and about to test them again here, and we are not seeing a breakdown of this area to say price is going to go lower. We're not seeing a break up of this area to see price is going to go higher. That's why I have marked this lines here called jump the creek line, meaning once price jumps from here, from this line, it should not close below that line, it should resume. Whichever direction it jumps, it should not close inside those lines and resume that direction that it broke out of. If price breaks and closes back up here and tests it this way, then this becomes your terminal shakeout, failed sell-off. And usually these failed sell-offs happen at a much lower volume. much lower volume. So you want to see, is it really a failed sell-off, or is it really a continuation to the downside? Now this bar here at 1 a.m. on June 8th, 1 a.m. Pacific time, the volume was higher than previous 8 hours. So it's a significant volume, so nothing to be ignored, but price didn't close below it and price just kept going. So this was not really time to enter for sure. I'm not talking about scalping. I'm talking about adding positions for long-term hold, because this has not given us the signal yet to go long. So as we're thinking about all these positions, as we're looking at the Wyckoff cycle, if we're in a accumulation, fantastic, then we can expect price to break out of this at some point to resume. So this break is your second chance to entry. This test area is your third chance of entry. E2 and E3 are the safest. E1 will be when we have a terminal shakeout, price closes above the line, tests the line and resumes. This would be your E1 entry. So E1, E2 at the break, E3. I don't trust E2. I much enter at E1 versus E2 for me personally, because at E1 I can at least say I am going to target this move up. Even if this is not an accumulation, it will go somewhere, and I will look at targeting, signs of trouble. This area, right? So take some position off here, tighten stop, take some position off here, tighten stop. That's how I look at it. So that's why I prefer E1. E2, a lot of times they are short-lived if it's not a true accumulation. What do I mean by short-lived? Well, if you look at this area here, if you had entered at the break, you're already stopped out, right? That's why I don't like E2s. Now, if you say I can identify E2 better, great. But if price fakes you out and immediately reverses, that's not a strength for me. So because the reason is, as I just mentioned, here at least I have some targets to look at. Here I don't have any targets to look at. I'm not looking left here because I'm jumping a creek. I want to see, is this really a true jump the creek, or is it a up thrust after distribution? Is it a UTAD or is it a true E2? I don't know until I get the confirmation. A UTAD means you get a breakdown, a retest, continued breakdown. That's what UTAD is. And in this instance, you can almost say that, okay, you have an upward move, a breakdown, a pullback, and a break back down. So this area here was a fantastic entry. Here at the break of these lows, 38,000 roughly, 38,000 to 32,000. That's a pretty significant move. So that's how I want to look at it, and that is why I say I'm not in a hurry to add to my long-term position until I see low volume, failed sell-off, meaning we get terminal shakeout to fake people to go short, but big money, smart money institutions are accumulating and they want to go long, so it's a fake sell-off. And as I said before, those big money, they sell to buy. That's how they start their positions. So you don't want to be trapped as a short seller and the price reverses on you. So get that confirmation. Best confirmation is to wait for your E1, E2, E3. For me, E1 is the second best and E3 is the best entry. E3, I go in full size of my position that I have planned to go in. That's my E3 entry. E1, depending on how I feel about the overall market, I can do full size or half size. E2, I rarely enter E2. Even if I do, it will be like quarter size or even less than that. Just testing it out. So right now, I'm not seeing an E1 entry. I'm not seeing a failed shakeout, a failed sell. But if price reverses here, that's fine, because I'll wait for my E3 to enter. But right now, the way I'm seeing this markets, I think there's still room to the downside a little bit more. Not only that, this could be a redistribution and we're going to see some significant price lower. I'm still long-term bullish both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum could really take off once they redo what they need to redo. Once they come up with their next version, Ethereum is going to take off. But until that happens, is this a redistribution? Which line are we going to jump? Right, our creek line. We have to wait and see. So this is how I'm looking at both Ethereum and Bitcoin. And you can apply this Wyckoff logic to any crypto, any market for that matter. Stocks, options, futures, crypto, and anything that trades, you can apply it. So right now, I just showed you my Bitcoin, how I'm looking at it. I'm waiting for a good trigger. Same thing with Ethereum. I'm waiting for a good trigger because I want to add to my position. Some long-term holders might say, I don't care about this type of analysis. I will just keep adding to my position, let's say every 2 weeks. Then what does that mean? Well, roughly I'm buying here, 2 weeks later I'm buying here, 2 weeks later I'm buying here, I'm buying here, I'm buying here. These are not precise 2 weeks. I'm just showing you like some days out just as an example. So so some people might do that, and that way they keep accumulating positions. Fine. If you have, let's say, a certain amount per month that you're dedicating to Ethereum as an example, so whenever that money is in your account for this purpose, you go buy it. It doesn't matter whether price is going up or price is going down, you're going to keep accumulating. That's a different strategy. That is not something that I look at. For me, for crypto, excuse me, I definitely want to take a look at my chart analysis. Where am I in terms of accumulation distribution? And you just saw me switch from 8 hours to daily. That doesn't change. The accumulation distribution doesn't change because we're changing to 8 hours or to the daily. I can go down to 15 minutes, nothing changes. The way you look at your charts might just look weird, but if you extend it, nothing changes. We're still in the same area. Still in the same area. I just want to zoom out enough so you can see that we are talking about the same thing. Same area as here. So nothing changes. But for this type of analysis, I prefer to look at 8 hours or maybe even daily. I might go down to an hourly chart to see where I can really pull the trigger. I might do some of those things to get an earlier entry, hourly, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But for the analysis, the 8 hour is good enough. I just want to see where we have the sell-off, the climax, right? The selling climax, the automatic rally, and UTAD, TSO, where those happens, so I can have my E1, E2, E3. And E1, E2, E3 is on both sides. E1 up or E1 down. So on both sides you have those entries. So this is how I'm looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin in light of the Wyckoff logic. All right, everyone, take care for now, and I'll see you in the next video.